my live because apparently I was using a copyrighted music, which was a lie because I purposely clicked on non copyrighted music. But that's okay. I'm live now. Posting right now. For some reason, it said that there was a copyright, but I don't think that there was. But that's okay. Let me just post really quick. Okay, so I'm going to show everyone what we're going to be painting. All right, so where is my image? All right, so I thought we could paint like a galaxy today because, galaxies are just fun to paint. And it has like a tree on it and even like a little person. So I kind of changed the color on it like I always do, but this is the picture we're going to paint today. Here, let me adjust my lighting again. Oh, no, do not move it to the trash. So this is it right here. It's just like a little galaxy with a tree, and it's actually more like purplish in the picture, but once again, this thing wants to act a dang fool, and that's okay. We'll paint it how it's supposed to be. All right. But we'll get started here soon. Hopefully I don't get canceled again because it says no copyright music. So I don't know what that was about. Usually I just wait a few minutes till everybody shows up. And then we'll get started. I wish that you guys can like actually talk to me. That would be really helpful. But I know it's really hard to paint and chat. But I'll show you what colors we're going to be using. So we're going to be using like a dark blue. This one's called Phthalocyanine blue. Okay, it's like a dark blue. Also, if do we need this color now? Also, we're going to be using pink, my favorite pink. So like a bright pink would be really good. If you don't have pink, you can use red, like a red, and then just kind of mix it a little bit with white. But just a pink. Also, black. And of course, white. Really easy colors. And if you want to, you can also use purple. So if you have a purple, you can also use that. You know what? I'm going to use this color because it looks blue, but it's actually purple. I'm going to use this color to get the colors correctly here. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right. This is more. There we go. All right. Now we got it. Wow. I didn't know I was so yellow, but apparently I am. Also, we got a little painting palette here, which I've talked about before. These kind of just peel off, and they're amazing to use. See? You just peel it off, and it's ready to go. And so we're going to be using, I think, 2 brushes. All right. All right, so we're going to use a big brush, big square brush to cover it all up. Like that. And we're also going to be using a small square brush as well. Now, if you have a tiny round brush, you can also use that if you have it. If you don't, you can just use this. So these 3 brushes. Oh, by the way, hello. My name is Reynilda. I normally work at a painting with a twist, but I can't do that right now because we are quarantined. And I really miss teaching. So here I am doing this. All right, so we can actually get started. So it's about 5 minutes in. So I'm gonna pour some paint. Now there's a lot of blue in this, so just kind of want to pour your blue on there. All right. I'm always dropping stuff. There's always a mess in here. You know what? I'm just a dang mess. All right, so our pink. Okay. White. Just a little bit. Some black. Oh, come on. And if you have it, some purple. This one's called Wild Grapes. I get these from Walmart, or like, actually this might have been, yeah, this is from Walmart. It's like 50 cents. Really cheap. All right, so few little rules. Please don't stress out. This is like supposed to be fun and relaxing, unless you're planning on like selling your painting somewhere. You can just hang it in your closet. You can hang it in your garage. You can hang it in, your partner's, man cave. Give it as a gift so that they have to take it. So we're going to start with the big brush. And I like to just lightly dip it in some water. It's very lightly. Maybe if I put this here, sounds better. Okay. So I just like to lightly dip it in water because that just helps it glide. Now you don't want to put too much water on your brush because then it'll just drip everywhere. And, unless you want to do that, then it's probably not a good idea. All right, so we're going to dip it in the blue. Now, remember, don't dip it from the center. Dip it from the side. If you dip it from the center, everything will get muddy on you. And we're not trying to make mud. We're trying to make a galaxy. So just take some blue. We take a good amount of blue on your brush. Okay, and I'm just going to start with the outer edges, okay, of your painting. So we're going to start in the outer corners. And I'm going to be painting like I'm doing X's. I always do this. It just helps your painting have more texture. But you could just paint it straight like that or up and down, however you want to do it. Just gonna fill up most of your canvas. Now we are going to be picking up pink soon. So what I'm going to say is we keep most of this color around the outer edges. This is almost exactly like we did yesterday. Just picking up paint. And by X's, I mean taking your wrist and going one way and then flipping it over and the other way. That's what I mean by an X. And if you want, you can paint the sides of your canvas, top, bottom, all that stuff. I have to get used to looking up here. It's kind of weird because there's an actual human in front of me, which is me. So it's like hard to look up there to this inanimate object. But I know you guys are watching me up there. So, all right. So we're going all around the outer edges. Hope you guys have been having a great time quarantining. This is my natural lifestyle, so haven't really been changing up anything other than I don't go to work once in a couple while. And I kind of miss going to work, honestly. I know a lot of people don't say that, but I actually enjoy my job. I love teaching. All right, I'm getting more blue wherever I put. Yeah, it has a lot of blue in it. All right, let's keep painting. See, I'm kind of going towards the center a little bit. But do you see the kind of shape that I am leaving? It almost looks like an oval, I guess. Kind of an oval kind of shape. So painting galaxies is actually really hard because there's a lot of blending involved. And whenever I teach this, is just people are just breathing hard, stressed out. And I'm like, when you add the stars, that's what completes everything. Sure, it looks crazy while you're painting, but once you add those stars, you're good to go. So trust the process. All right, so now, someone told me that I was painting a little too fast, which I get that a lot, but whenever you paint a galaxy, you have to paint fast. Because if this paint dries, it's not going to blend. So you want to work a little quickly so that when you go to the next step, your paint isn't dry. But to help with that, you can very lightly dip your brush in some water while it still has a little blue. And I want you to take that and kind of go around the edges. So we got our egg and we have our edges here. Just kind of go around it. See how it drips? Don't do that. Don't let it drip. All right. Just go around the edges because what we're doing is we're wetting the corner so that when we add our pink, this is kind of wet already and it'll help blend. All right. All right, so we got that shape on there. And my image just closed. That always happens. There it is. All right, so now, without cleaning your brush, let's go into the pink, okay? So just dip it right into pink, and it should make a nice little purple for you. And if you want to be fancy, you can go into purple too, if that purple isn't purplish enough for you. But we're going to go in the purple. In the pink. All right? And by the way, does it help if oh, it's not letting me do it. I was going to make it like mirrored, so it's the other way around. Because my left is not your left, but I can't. So just pretend like, paint it like however it's facing you. Don't paint it how my left and my right is. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, so on this bottom corner right here, I'm going to start adding this pink, okay? So right down here, and my paint is still wet, so that is perfect. So right in this section, it's going to be purple, all right? And I'm still doing the X's. Do the sides. Pick up a little more. Does that look purple? Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this real quick, okay? All right. So I'm taking this, and now I'm going to go around the outer edges as well with this pink color that has the purple mixed in it. But I'm not really worried too much about going in the center just yet. I'm just going around. This, if you need to dip a little bit of water, sometimes that really helps. We're just trying to make this outer edge more purple and less blue. And we're going to take this up. So it should be like a diagonal kind of shape. So it's getting really small here. God, I wish this thing would let the purple be picked up, but it just does not want to do that. And it's so annoying. I'm a terrible YouTuber. Clearly, I'm like the worst freaking YouTuber on the planet. I swear. Okay, whatever. All right, so let's just keep adding a little bit of purple at a time around the outer edges. It should look like it's kind of glowing. Okay. So all of this is actually really purple. I know it's hard to see, but it's actually really purple. So I'm gonna let you guys finish that up really quick while I adjust the camera again because this thing is not working for me. All right, so clean your brush. Just wiggle it on the bottom there. That, clean it up. Make sure there is no more blue on your brush because we're gonna go in the pink on its own. Okay. All right, so let's just go into pink on its own, okay? So just the pink on its own. We're not adding white just yet. All right, because we want this part to be like bright, like neon almost, okay? So I'm gonna start right in the center here, making those X's. Oh my God, why does it look red? But just kind of take that color and just spread it around. Oh my God. Anyways, I'll get myself situated one day. It's okay. All right, so pretty much start on the center and then make your way towards the outer edge. And you see, if it's dry, you see how you get these ugly lines right here? That's why we don't want it to dry. And that's what happens a lot in the classes I teach. And then people ask me, how do I fix that? And I'm like, you have to paint fast. That's why I was going so fast. But sometimes you can just kind of, if it's still slightly damp, you can just kind of keep working it like that and it'll blend for you. But if it's dry, you have to go back into that purplish color. All right, so just kind of take this color and just pull it. So I remember that's like literally pull it outwards. You see how I'm kind of like taking it and just pulling it? Just pull that color. If you need to pick up more, definitely do. If you want to pull this color, I'm pulling it down this way. I'm not doing the X's. I'm just kind of pulling any more paint. Okay. All right. So just pull the color down. All right. And pull it towards this upper corner as well. So pull that color. And just go up. Just keep going kind of back and forth, back and forth. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my canvas either. I'm just kind of letting the brush do all the work. Not like, my hand or my wrist. My wrist. But just pull that color. So we're just kind of making like the background of the galaxy. We just want that pink to shine in this section. And if you get these like ugly little lines like this, see those ugly little lines? Once you've kind of applied it and it looks good, then you can just smooth everything out like this. Okay, so I'm gonna put some more over here. All right, smooth it all out. I know this probably looks so ugly, but like the stars are gonna align for us and it's going to look cute. Trust me, I'm a professional, all right? I guess. Okay. Let's stop moving this paint around too much. So we got a nice little streak going on there. Nice little pink streak. We got our purple, our blue on the outside. I'll let you guys do a little bit of that. All right, so once again, we don't want it to dry. So I just cleaned my brush. And I am going to take pink and white, okay? So I'm making just, where is it? Oh, it's right here. Oh, you can't see it because it's so bright, but I'm making a very light pink over here. It's so hard to see. So very light pink. All right, so I'm going to take this light pink and I'm going to put it in the center, okay? So you can put this different ways. You can do the X's. You can just kind of like dab it on there. But the whole point is that you want to go very light. You barely want to touch your canvas. So very lightly, just kind of add a few little strokes right here of the whitish pink. You see how I'm kind of like brushing it with the corner of my brush? You kind of want to do that. It's very light. And you want it to look, you don't want this part to look really blended. You want it to look like it's really just popping out. Okay. We're also going to add a little bit down here as well, just in a little corner. And honestly, you can add this anywhere. We don't have to paint this exactly like the picture. So right here. And honestly, just, you know, look at your painting. Be like, you know what? I want to add a little extra right here because I'm an artist and I make the rules. All right. So if you want to add a little more, you can. So right here, just add a few little extra. And if you want to just be even more like, you know what, I'm really an artist, like nobody can mess with me, you know, what you can do is you can take this light color and you can kind of add like little, see how many little streaks? We can just go rogue. So the way that I do this is I like to like wiggle my brush like this. I like almost shake. You know what? I'm going to even go outside of this because you know what? I don't want to follow that picture 100% because we are creative here. Okay. And we're making our own little galaxy. Galaxies is just, all it is just a bunch of colors just like splattered on top of each other. That's all a galaxy is. And then you have your light and you have your dark. And then once you add the stars, you're good to go. So I'm also going to pick up a little extra pink and I'm going to, let me lift this up a little bit. Oh, no, it's fine. I'm going to add, I picked up a little extra pink and it had white already on here. Okay. Because I really want to lighten up this bottom section. So I'm just going to scuff it up right here in this bottom section. I want it to look like there's just color like exploding from down here. And since I have the pink and I have the white on my brush, if I kind of brush upwards like this, very lightly, the whole trick of this, remember, very light, it creates streakiness for you. And streakiness is very good whenever we're painting a galaxy. You see that streakiness is really good whenever we're painting a galaxy. Like you want the streakiness. All right. So I'm going to let you add that streakiness. Don't clean your brush when you're done. God, I almost dropped my brush. And we're going to add a few little extra details. Sometimes whenever you're painting galaxies, I mean, just painting actually in acrylics. I said this in my other video. Sometimes you have to paint the painting like twice because it can be a little see-through, especially if your canvas is not primed or it's not primed well, like most cheap canvases are, like this one. Then the paint doesn't really stick very well. And then you'll end up kind of getting all this see-throughness. But I just dipped my brush in the blue again, and I didn't clean it. So I just dipped it in the blue. And we're going to add a little kind of piece right here in the center, in this area of blue, because we want to like separate it, this big chunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up in this corner right here, like where the blue kind of meets the purple. Hi, everyone that's showing up. May want to rewind. So right here, so I'm just going to take this with my brush diagonal and kind of what I'm doing is pressing. I'm pressing it. And I'm going to wiggle my brush, mostly the corner of my brush, and make my way towards the center. So I am wiggling all that paint very lightly. I'm just wiggling it on there. So we're just making a little kind of crevice here. Just take it out. And you may have to kind of blend it out here a little bit so it blends with your blue. Just kind of wiggle that right in the center right there. You can also add a few little extras like over here. Remember, be creative, okay? Let's add a little more blue. It just helps separate that big old chunk that we had. You can even add some up here. Remember, kind of twirl your brush around, kind of wiggle it very lightly. Let me put this music on a loop. All right, so we're wiggling our brush. That, if all of this looks the same color right here, you can also add a little bit down here. We just don't want this to look like one whole color. You see how I'm just wiggling it everywhere? Sometimes it helps to kind of blur your eyes a little bit, just to look at your painting. Just kind of blur it, just so you can see how it's looking, where the value is, meaning like the darker and the light areas, to see how visually appealing it is. All right, so remember how I said that sometimes you have to paint a painting twice? So we're gonna add a few little extra touches to the outside of what we just did while we let that dry a little bit. So I'm gonna dip it right back into blue. So what I want this corner right here to be kind of dark. I want it to be darker. You see how it's like matching almost everything else? No, I want this to be darker, all right? So if you don't have a very dark blue, you can just add some black to it. Just be really careful because black goes a very long way. So it's like the tiniest bit of black, okay? And barely put paint on your brush because you just don't want to ruin everything you just did. So I'm just going to take the dark blue that I have and I'm going to darken up this corner. That, you know what, just to show, I'm just going to pick up black just so I show you what I mean. So I'm just going to take this blue. You see how I pick up the paint? I pull it. I don't dip and pick up. I pull it. And then I flip my brush. So I'm coating both of the sides of my brush. And then to take the black, I just literally just dip the corner. Like I said, it goes, and it seems like it's not a lot, but once you mix it, it makes a big difference. All right, so let's just add this up here. Darken this corner up here. And as you make your way down, wow, just start barely touching your canvas. So I'm just barely touching it as I make my way down. You almost want your brush to seem like it's like dry almost. So I'm gonna darken that up right there. And I'm also gonna darken up this little corner here because why not? So right here in this little corner. Now, let's say that you've added too much black and you're like freaking out right now, and I can't see you, but I'm sure you might be freaking out. Don't worry, if you added too much black, just go into your blue on its own. And let's say you've plopped it on there like I did. Go into the blue on its own and then mix it by touching the black. And then just kind of move it around. Like that. See how that dark just really kind of helps a lot? This, I guess it helps. All right, so I'm gonna add a little extra down here. Just because this dark blue is just really making me excited right now. It's really making me happy, so I'm just gonna add more. Like that. I always miss a spot. It's my mistake. Okay. Now my painting, for some reason right here, I know it's hard to see. I'll show you. And if you have this problem, then you can do this too. But my painting right here is kind of like, see how I can see my canvas still? If you have that problem, then you have to kind of repaint it. You want it to be like that, where your canvas isn't showing. But if your canvas is showing, that's not cute. You never want to have canvas showing on your painting, okay? So just to cover that up, I just have to make that color again, which is actually like the purple. Remember when we watered down our purple, our blue, and then we added that pink? So yeah, that's what I said from the beginning, that painting a galaxy is just lots of going back and forth, lots of blending, lots of anxiety. But wait till you add the stars. You're gonna be like, whoa, I painted this, like, whoa. All right, so I'm gonna go back in my blue and in my pink, because remember, that's what made me that purple. Look at me ignoring this freaking purple I just poured. You know what? I'm gonna pick it up just because I don't want to waste it. All right, so I'm making this purple again. So I'm just gonna cover up those marks because I do not like seeing canvas on my painting. I need it all to be covered up. So I'm covering up right here and up here. But if yours does not have that, then you are an expert. You are doing great. Oops, just covered up the pink. Not a big deal. Just go back into pink and just blur it out. There. All right, so now it's not see-through. Okay. Now, just kind of look at your painting and then see what you want to add. I'm going to be doing that as well. Now, if you like the way yours looks, just kind of leave it alone. But if you want to add a few little extra things, you can just follow along with me. But sometimes overworking a painting makes it worse and worse. So you actually sometimes just want to leave it alone, walk away. It's good. It's good to go. All right. But I just want to add a few. I want to make this a little brighter. And just kind of make it a little more hazy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to use the smaller brush. And let me clean my brush. By the way, always clean your brush. If you're not using your paintbrush, never leave it out with paint on it because it will dry up and then you just wasted a brand new brush. So make sure that you cleaning it. You can either leave it in your water cup or you can just clean it really well, dry it up, and then put it to the side. Okay. All right. So let's go back into this pink. And I'm using the small brush now and a little bit of white. I got a little pink, a little white on my brush. This is how pink it is, by the way. All right. So I just want to brighten this up a little bit. So I'm just going to very lightly wiggle my brush in this section. See how I'm wiggling it? Almost like I'm doing a little circular motion. Right here. I'm not touching my blue. I'm just kind of highlighting this part right there. See how much brighter that looks? Yeah. All right, let's add another bright section right here. Just wiggle your brush. Barely touch your canvas. Like that. And you see how I have white on one side, but then I have this pink on the other side? I'm going to take this pink and I'm going to put it right on the bottom, right where the white meets the blue. It almost looks like a cloud. See that? And then to kind of just blur it out, whatever color you have on here, which is that, mine is like that purplish color with pink and a little white. Just gonna take your brush and just kind of wiggle it on the side here. So wiggle your brush, kind of barely touching that white, barely touching it. So this is kind of like a purplish color. If it doesn't match it, it's fine because it's a galaxy. But I'm just trying to blur out the white so that way it doesn't look so harsh, because you don't want it to look, you don't want it to go like white and then it's like dark color. You know, you want to kind of blur it out a little bit. All right, and I really like this kind of purplish I have on my brush. So I'm going to add that in other places because why not? Yeah. All right, so let's be creative here. Where do we want to add it? So right here looks a little empty. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm angled because the whole time we're painting angled. And I'm going to wiggle my brush right here. I'm doing a little circular motion just because it's empty, that part. And I don't like how empty it looks. See, now it's not empty. You can even take pink and do that. Whatever you want to do. If you want to make yours more pink, you can like take pink and just kind of add little tiny spots everywhere. That's what's fun about a galaxy. You just kind of, you can add whatever you want, you know? That's why I find a lot of artists paint galaxies like me, because you just get to kind of just not think about it too much and just kind of throw stuff on there. So I really hope that you guys are just being really creative with yours and just kind of adding mixtures of colors here and there. See, I'm going to go back into my purplish color. I'm going to add some here. Even like far, you can even add it like far away. Right there, whatever. Whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. As long as it looks like a big old jumble of colors, you are good. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to take this blue and I'm going to lighten it up by adding a little bit of white to it. Why am I doing that? You'll see. I just want to lighten up my blue over here. I want to add a little bit of light blue. A little bit of like around the edges. Just a little bit of light blue. I'm just taking my blue and I'm just gonna go kind of around. You see how it kind of creates like a it kind of creates like a little haziness for you. So I'm just gonna go around it, just kind of adding this light blue. Just like that. And like I said, you can add this anywhere you want if you really like it. Also, make sure that your brush is pretty dry. You do not want to put so much paint. You want to just have your brush be pretty dry. This is called dry brushing. It's when your brush literally just has a minimal amount of paint on it, and you can like hear it while you're painting. It's like, so you can. Of course, I have to show you what the sound is. I don't know if you can hear, but. You hear that? That's how dry you need it to be. Put my mic down. All right, so whenever you are just satisfied with the way your galaxy looks, which, you know what? I'm pretty satisfied right now. Then we're going to do the fun part, all right? Which is adding the stars. So there's two ways you can do it. All right. So one way is that you just take the back of your brush, right? And then you dip it in your white. And then you can just add stars like that. The more pressure you put, the bigger the star will be. So you can just kind of add it like this if you want to. Like that. These helps with just creating like really big stars or like the main focus. Kind of add. I don't like going back and forth into the white because I want them to be different sizes. And if you keep going back and forth there, it's going to be hard to control. So this is one way of creating your stars. Okay. Or another way of making stars, which people love to do, but you just have to be really, really careful. Okay. If you don't have like a cloth setup, or you're doing this on a table that's not protected or in front of someone, be really careful. Okay. But all you have to do is you take your brush and then you wet it, right? And then you go into your white. Just very hard to see. Hold on. So that you can see the white. Let me adjust this really quickly. Oh, this looks better. Wow. All right, so you're just gonna take your white and you're gonna, with the wet brush, you're gonna wiggle it, okay? And if it picks up another color, that's fine, but as long as it's white. But you're gonna wiggle it like that. So you're gonna flip it over, wiggle it. So I'm wiggling my brush. Now you don't want this to be so wet where it's dripping on your palette. If it drips on your palette like that, then that means it's gonna drip on your painting, okay? So just kind of pick up a little bit of white at a time until you get like almost like ink kind of texture, consistency, not texture. Okay, so mine isn't dripping anymore. And then, that's doesn't mean nothing. All right, so you just hold your brush like this, right? So right on the tip, and then you flick backwards towards the painting, okay? So you have to get really, really close, all right? Get really close and flick back. And look at that. It makes stars for you. Just be really careful because it will splash everywhere. If you need to go somewhere else to do it, please do. But acrylic paint does not come off of anything. It'll stay on your clothes. It'll stay on your floor unless you clean it up quickly. We need to add a ton of stars. Don't do this. This is even worse. Okay. All right. Add our stars. Okay. And do you see how the stars just puts everything together? Like now it actually looks like a galaxy. The stars, right? Make sure you clean your brush, by the way, when you are done. Give you guys a minute or two to kind of do all of that and kind of catch up. My picture went away. There it is. I'm gonna drink some water. I hope you guys have toilet paper. It's like a commodity now. Toilet paper. Who would have thought, right? Toilet paper out of all things. That's what everyone freaks out about. Not medicine, not like vitamins so we can, feel better. Not like tissues so we can clean our nose, but toilet paper. That's what everyone wants to freak out about. Like, what? Makes no sense. But humans, humans are wild. They really are. Okay, so I need to move this up a little bit right here for our next steps. All right, so where is my fan? I gotta go get my fan really quick. Don't mind my ridiculous outfit. Oh, there it is. All right, so we kind of want the stars to dry a little bit. So these are a bunch of ways to dry it, obviously. You can pick it up. You can pick it up and kind of fan it like this. Use a blow dryer. I don't want to do that because that's, I just don't feel like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little fan here because we want our stars. It doesn't need to be 100% dry because we're going to be using black, but we don't want it to be super wet either. And it's mostly like this side right here. You want it to be a little drier. So just kind of dry it kind of quickly here. I got this from China. Actually from China. A long time ago. All right. And you know that it's kind of dry when it's not like super shiny, unless you use gloss paints. If you use gloss paints, it's going to always be shiny. All right. So it's pretty dry. You know what? My hair keeps getting in my eye and it's driving me insane. Okay. My bad. Let me just do this real quick because this is driving me crazy. Now I look even sillier, but no matter. Silly is fine. All right, so now, now we're gonna add like where the tree is, which is, remember this tree? That. I'm gonna show you how to paint a tree, don't worry. Paint a tree is actually very easy. All right, but first, we're gonna make a little hill on this bottom section with our black. So I'm using the small brush, small square brush. And I'm gonna dip it in my black. That. All right, so the hill is not completely straight. It does start very low right here. Then it goes a little bit high right where the tree is. So the tree is about right here. Is it? No, it's about right here. So what I mean by that is you're just going to start really low right here. And I'm making just a line. I'm very, very close to the edge here. And as I make my way to the right, I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. See how I'm lifting it up? Right there a little bit. And then I'm just going to go back down. Like that. And then you're just going to fill it in. Like so. Ooh. And if you need to paint the bottom, you can do that too. Do that really quickly. Okay. All right, so you should have a little hill there. All right, we're still going to be using black, so don't clean your brush. Let me see what this tree looks like. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the trunk of our tree. Right, remember, don't pick up a lot of paint. Just kind of pick it up from a little bit on the sides. Just do that. All right, so our tree is going to be right on top of our hill here. Okay, but it's very skinny. All right, depending on what size your canvas is, honestly, but it's very small. The tallness of the tree is going to be like right here. So it's going to be about this much tree. All right, so the trunk is really small. So the trunk is going to be, so this is halfway on my canvas. So I'm going to go about right here. So about a quarter of your canvas. Okay, maybe even below a little, quarter of your canvas. So right here, I'm just going to take my brush. I'm just going to go straight down. About a quarter of, it's just a line. We're literally just making a line. It's kind of thick, not really. It could be actually the thickness of my brush. So like that. So my brush is about that big. Finger thickness. Okay. All right. So we want to kind of make where the roots are. So on this bottom section, right on the edge, I'm just gonna turn it to this side, just kind of curve it right here. And I am going to curve it right here too. Okay. So once we have our trunk and we have our little curves here, we're going to make the biggest branches on the tree, okay? Because you start with the biggest branches and then you go with the little tiny ones and you just have fun and get wild with those. But we want to make the big branches. All right, so let's do one branch just going off to this side first. So just start in this corner, kind of press and make a diagonal line. Very short, it's not like huge. It's about right there. Okay. Once you got that diagonal line, let's go right here and kind of continue this line, right? And then we're going to curve it a little bit to this side. So just going to go up and you're going to curve it to this side like that. Okay, and let's do another one. So I'm going to kind of continue this again right here. And I'm going to curve it the other way. So I'm going to go this way. Like that. So it's like the letter Y. All right, let me just kind of repaint it because sometimes you have to repaint. Okay. All right, now from there, there's some like medium size kind of trunks. I mean, not trunk, freaking branches. So to do that, you just take your brush, you start on a big one, right? And then you take your brush and you kind of go, you just pull it out. So the tree is kind of round. So you want these to kind of be higher, right? And then the ones on the side. So sorry, let me just show you. So make two like kind of going up like that. And then make one going this way and one going that way. So that way we know that our tree is going to be like round. All right, so from there you can keep using this brush to make smaller ones, or you can switch to an even tinier brush if you have one. So I'm going to use my tiny brush and I'm cleaning my brush here. Okay. So if you have a little tiny brush like this, you can use that. All right, so sometimes it helps whenever you're using black and you're making like lines, you just kind of dip it in a little bit of water. And then remember, don't add too much. but just kind of make it like ink. Oops, shaking the whole thing. Kind of make it like ink. And it also helps to kind of twirl your brush like this. Helps kind of point it out, you know? All right, so you can add as many tiny branches as you want, okay? So all you have to do is you take your little brush and you just go out like this. You just take it out. They're not completely straight lines, and then you can add even smaller branches on the ones you've already added. So that's pretty much how you kind of want to decorate this tree. You just want to keep adding little tiny lines going all the way around. And you also want them to face the way that they are, that the big ones are facing. So if it's facing that way, then you make the little ones face that way too. If it's facing diagonal like that, then you want to make them face diagonal that way too. See what I mean? Now not all trees look like that, obviously, but just to keep it easier, we're just gonna do it like that. So just kind of keep adding little tiny branches just everywhere, all over the place, because this is like the main kind of spectacle here is the branches. You can even make branches on top of other branches. So like what I mean by that is, let's say, see how I have this one right here? I can start one right here and just kind of go over it like that. So you just want to fill this all up with branches. Kind of let this be a little meditative, you know, almost like you're meditating, just adding each little branch. But just keep in mind that you want your tree to look round in shape. So yeah, just take your time. There's no rush here. Here, I'm gonna turn this towards me a little bit because my back is hurting. But I'm just adding more and more little branches. Remember, don't be afraid to just make a branch just kind of going in between a bunch of branches. It's kind of like even like going across like this. see, I am almost done here. Okay. Messing with the camera again. I'll get it right one day. I will get it right. It's okay. All right, so there is a little person on the tree. See that? It's like a little tiny person on the tree. Now, if you want to add that, you can. You obviously do not have to because it is just very, very, very tiny. But either way, I'll show you how to paint it. But like I said, if you do not want to add that, you do not have to. So all you have to do is with black, so about a little bit below halfway on the tree, just make one little black little dot, little circle. Here, I'll get a little closer here. All right, I don't know how I'm gonna do this while holding it, but I am just scattered. All right, so just make one little dot. And then you're just gonna make a curved kind of line. So start right here in the neck and curve it. Almost like you're writing the letter C. Right, so now he looks like, you know, a snake. And then, give me 1 second. Sorry if this camera is so wiggly, I'm just holding it. But anyways, and then you're just gonna make the top part a little bit bigger. So what I mean is right here where the neck is, just kind of take it out, almost like you're drawing like a diamond. See that? It's almost like you're drawing a little diamond. And then right on the neck again, just make a line, like he's kind of sticking his hand out. He's like, look at this tree. Magnificent. And if you want it to be a girl, just add a ponytail like that, or you can add a little hair on it and it's in the wind. Whatever you want to do. She's a tree hugger. Sorry. Let me get my camera back up here. How it was. There it goes. Oh, this is zoomed in. Okay, this is cute. All right, so from there, you just kind of look at your painting. Look if you want to change something to it, if you want to add, take away, whatever you want to do. But if you like the way it looks and it looks cute and you don't need to add anything else up here, then your painting is done. You can keep working your tree if you want, whatever you want to do pretty much. But like I said in the beginning, don't overpaint. Sometimes you just want to leave it alone because the painting is never finished. You just kind of give up on it. And that's what I do when I just cannot paint anymore. I just give up and then it's done. Okay. So just remember to sign your painting. So you can use any color you want. I'm going to use this pink because I have a lot left. So you can sign it. That. And if you have painted along, please tag me, send me the photos. My Instagram is Vida, VIDA _in progress. I'm gonna put it, I guess, in the description. I just want to see everyone else's paint has been actually like following along, and I forgot to mention that. But just send me what it is that you're painting. And I hope you had fun. Hope you relaxed for this hour. And now you can go to bed nice and relaxed, nice and calm. That was my goal. Hopefully I achieved my goal. And I will be here tomorrow again, unless I'm tired. And honestly, I've been thinking about doing quarantine and bake because I love baking. So, and I was thinking about making a, what is that called? A tres leches cake. But I don't know how I'm gonna be doing the baking part. And then it's live. I don't know. But anyway, so I might do that instead of painting, but whatever. Just let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys mañana, which means tomorrow in Spanish. All right. Thank you for coming. And if you're watching, remember, tag me, please. All right. Bye.